You don't have to worry. She says we don't need to change.
This video contains spoilers for The Backrooms. The Backrooms is a psychological horror movie based on the internet trend of the same name. It follows Clark, who is a furniture store owner, and Mary, his therapist, as they both navigate their own mental drawbacks during the 1990s. Clark is a self-praising narcissist, and Mary is a dissociating trauma survivor. They eventually fall into the backrooms, an endless chamber of misremembered memories and uneasy environments that seems to exist outside reality. The backrooms were formed by analyzing people's minds and mimicking their memories of reality into its walls. However, the backrooms don't recreate memories with 100% accuracy, so rooms, furniture, and people all don't look right. Unfortunately for Clark, he lived right on top of the backrooms, and his memories were easily accessible to be mimicked by the backrooms. But this gives the audience the key to dissecting Clark's mind, his egotism, and his violent tendencies. Comparing the backrooms to the real world, we can answer an important question about psychology. Why do people conform even when they privately disagree? The movie has Clark living in a state of cognitive dissonance. He is well aware of his tendency to lash out and lose friends, evidence that he is a horrible person, when really he just wants to fit in with society.
I hurt people. I don't want to, it's just the way I'm wired, so maybe I deserve to be alone.
Clark is confused about his social identity. He says he's an honest business owner. He says he is happy living alone and without company. He tells Mary that he is perfectly fine and not to blame for the tragedies that have happened to him. This is clearly represented in Mary's therapy scene between their roleplay activities. Mary's intent is to recreate the night Clark was kicked out of the house by his ex-wife. Mary pretends to be Barbara, his spouse, and Clark is just Clark.
You want kids, right?
We both do.
Well, having a family takes money, which means someone has to work. Unless being a professional student is considered a job these days.
That's not fair. You know, I had to take time off.
Well, it's not my fault if you can't keep up. How are you going to be a lawyer if you can't even handle law school? Who do you think pays for everything while you're gallivanting around campus like a 30-year-old freshman? I'll give you a hint. It's me.
Notice how Mary is in an authoritative position. The two are in Mary's clean office, where Mary portrays a cool atmosphere and embraces her control over the scene. This urges Clark to be obedient, encouraging him to conform to Mary's solutions she is setting up for him. Although Clark tries to submit to Mary and become the healthy individual he thinks he can be, he still doesn't react to the evidence that he is the problem, the fact that he had pushed his wife away. He is aware of it, which puts him into that state of cognitive dissonance. Will he ignore his flaws or evolve? Later on in the movie, that therapy scene is recreated with a twist. Clark and Mary are now both trapped in the backrooms, and Clark has gone mad exploring the place like an excited child. Now, Clark has the authority in this scene, as he is now threatening Mary with her life in an environment seemingly familiar to only him and completely foreign to Mary.
I was checking inventory, but I stopped off for a few beers.
Clark.
Barbara!
We can even see Mary is dehumanized as she wears a red wig freshly scalped off the still-life copy of Barbara. Clark has the authority now, and Mary is urged to obey him or get killed. However, Mary takes agency over her life despite her predicament. In that moment, she maintains her social identity and refuses what Clark puts on her. This is where Mary flat out tells Clark that he himself is the problem, and Clark responds like this.
How do I stop doing that?
Honestly, I have no idea. can't help you, Clark.
The big turning point in this movie is when Clark admits he doesn't want to change. He believes he belongs here in the Backrooms. Clark has finally found his social identity, and it's not being a regular guy running a furniture store. It's here, surrounded by lifeless people that don't negatively react to his anger.
I don't think I want to change.
Then don't.
I like it in here.
This is the breakthrough for Clark, when he can finally escape his cognitive dissonance. At first, he didn't know what to do with the fact that he was selfish, but Mary, his therapist, tells him he doesn't have to change at all. And so Clark ignores that fact. But then...
No. You don't have to worry. She says we don't need to change. It's okay. It's just the way we're wired.
That monster you just saw is known as Captain Clark. He is the Backrooms' attempt at mimicking Clark himself, but since the Backrooms had so much exposure to Clark, it even mimicked his violent attitude. When Clark told his twin that they didn't need to become better people, finally graduating from that cognitive dissonance, Captain Clark took that to heart. He let go of what good Clark had left and killed him. That creates a bit of irony, watching how Clark's refusal to change caused his demise. Answering our question about why people conform even when they privately disagree, this movie tells us that society is the reason. In the real world, Clark runs his business, completely sane, since that is what the real world asks of him. But Clark is a very complex man, and the environment of the Backrooms, bearing no judgmental society, let him embrace his loony. Obviously, this is fiction. The downsides of that are that certain details are dramatized for entertainment. This movie does not prove that all narcissistic people, when brought into the right environment that allows them to exert their grandeur, will go insane. The movie just has a simple message that sometimes people will be jerks. Another, obviously, is that Clark being sent to such an unimaginable place greatly influenced his psychological state. This social context he found himself in was unreal, dangerous, and derealizing, and he loved it, so much so that he could find a new identity for himself and be who he actually wanted to be, though not for long.